Tell Joe to shut up, will you? It's so loud. It's Sloan. I got to do it all the time. All right. Pleased, obviously, anytime you shut out an opponent, it's difficult to shut out anybody in football. I mean, college football is set up for success on offense. So really pleased with, we had 3 or 4 starters out on defense, and we had to juggle the lineup. We had Jarek playing safety, and the guys really rallied, and did a great job. Held them to under 100 yards. You guys know the stats. I don't have to recite them to you. Offensively, other than a missed field goal and an interesting penalty call on a touchdown, very efficient offensively, throwing the football, running the football. So really good performance, something to build off of. I told our guys one time's an accident, second time's a coincidence, third time is a habit. They've won 3 in a row. They're building good habits, and we look to continue to build on that going into SEC play over the next month. So with that, we'll open up to questions.
Coach, how many games have you been a part of where, I know they kneeled it out or let the time run out right before halftime, but every other drive was a punt and all but 2 of them were 3 and outs? Just that kind of defensive dominance.
I've been coaching 32 years, so I've had some of those games. I think most of them, you know that you're in a dominating performance, and you just wish you had more points on the board at that time, because it was pretty clear that they were going to have a difficult time moving the football on us. And I thought our plan was excellent, but we felt pretty good that going into halftime, even though it was, I think, 17-0, we were in a pretty good position.
Yeah, hey Coach, right over here. Just a quick update on Jaden and kind of what happened with him, and then also, do you guys think you found something with Jack Pesh in that punt return role?
Jaden strained his lower back. He could have went back in, but there was no need at that time of the game. So, he was cleared by the doctors, so he's good. Yeah, he's fearless. Maybe he should, there was a time maybe he could have put his hand up on a fair catch, but we love his spirit. He makes us better back there, and it was great to get him involved and being part of our offense.
Ryan, with the defensive performance now, especially 2 weeks in a row, like you said, kind of building those habits, where do you think this group is maybe headed, or is it too early for you to certainly say it can be a really, really good unit over the course of the year?
Well, we're getting pressure, obviously. That's huge, right, from a 4-man front, playing on-body coverage, and we're tackling, right? We're running sideline to sideline. Baskerville's helping. Harold is helping a bunch. And we're getting really consistent inside play now. If you remember the Florida State game, we did not tackle very well. We were not on body in the secondary. We obviously have addressed those things. So I think we can continue to get better. I don't know that if you ask Matt that was our best performance. We can play better, and that's a good thing. So I think we're trending in the right direction.
It seemed like Jaden was more decisive on some of those tougher throws today. I guess, what do you think led to that? And also, just do you think going into SEC play, he's in a good spot right now?
Yeah, I think just more familiar with the offensive structure, concepts. And we were really, I think, firm on fast feet and then slowing down the thought process. We felt like when his feet are slow, it puts his mind moving too fast because he feels like the opposite has occurred. So we got into a really good coaching point with fast feet, slow decision making, and it really helped him a lot, and it was nice to see.
Coach, you guys had that punt return set up beautifully with Besh. You were obviously pretty animated about the call. What was your perspective on what you saw down
So
the
they
field?
called it a blindside block, and I took issue with the fact that it was a blindside block. If he's, a blindside block means he could not defend himself. I felt like he clearly saw it coming. He got his head across. And they just simply had a different interpretation. And I said, if you take that block out of football, there won't be punt returns. And I just felt, look, they won the argument because it's their interpretation of what a blindside block is. I didn't agree with the call, and I wanted to make sure that I probably was beating a dead horse on the thing, but I wanted to make sure they heard me.
With BJ Ojulari, is he just sort of dealing with a little bit of a nagging injury?
It's the patella that we work out on Saturdays, and when we went through our workouts, it was just cranky, and there was no sense, especially in the position that he had. He was not going to get a ton of work where we had him in the jack position. He had QB, and as you saw, the ball was going out on the perimeter, or they were running dive. So we just thought it was best that we rest him and get him 100%.
Yeah, Brian, right here. The nuss you saw tonight, was that the nuss you saw in preseason?
Yes, decisive, and made obviously some really high-level throws. Love to see him hook up with Malik down the field, but he's a talented football player. He's just, making good decisions, take what they give you, be disciplined, and you've got another really fine quarterback there.
Hey, Coach, what can you say about the performance of the running backs tonight? Seemed like a lot of them got going more than the past couple weeks.
Yeah, I thought they ran with low pads. They were physical. Noah Kane obviously played really well. I thought all of them, ran hard. They were physical, took it to the defense, and that was really the emphasis all week. They're not very big up front. They do a lot of things, obviously, but run with low pads, and I think Frank was emphasizing that all week, and run physical. And I thought we were extremely physical at the running back position.
Brian, do you have an update on Major Burns and also on Armani Goodwin?
Amani was a hamstring, so we're hopeful that clears itself. Major situation is probably one where he's going to be lost probably for anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks with an upper neck injury. There was no, I don't want to get into the specifics when you talk about a neck injury, but he's been cleared by, all of the doctors, but it's going to need some rest. But it's probably going to take between 3 and 6 weeks before we can get him back out on the field.
Coach, we've mentioned it tonight, and you have too. With Armani going down, you had Noah Kane step up, John Emery is looking a lot sharper, and then you have Butte out because of a baby being born, and you got Besh stepping in, Nussmeier coming in and really showing improvement. Are you seeing that the guys on the team all kind of taking that opportunity to be able to fill in and take an advantage of their opportunity when it presents themselves?
Yeah, I think there's two things here. One, we trust them, and if a guy goes down, we have no problem bringing the next guy in and giving them that opportunity. So I think they feel the trust from us, and then that gives them confidence that they can go in there and play at a high level. So, and that's kind of evolving, right, as we go along, where we're not wringing our hands. Do we want BJ Ojulari out there? Absolutely, but we know the next guy is going to go in there and play well. Do we want Kayshawn out there? Absolutely. It was great that he was with obviously his girlfriend and being there for the birth, but Jack Besh steps up. So I think we're in a very fortunate position that we have that. Let's try to get them all on the field at one time and see what happens too. That would be nice as well.
Coach has time for 2 more.
Coach, right here. how do you feel like the offense is progressing as a whole at this point in the season?
Yeah, I think it starts with the quarterback. You saw what those receivers can do. We were patient today. That's a very difficult defense. They want you to throw the ball down the field and waste downs. We were not going to do that. We were going to be very deliberate, very patient. We were going to throw hitch routes and slant routes. We were going to check it down in the back. We used some clock to score. That's why the number, it was 17-0 at the half, and we squandered a couple of chances. But we got the ball out quickly. It was timely. It was efficient. And then we let those receivers make some plays. And their yards after the catch were pretty big this evening. And obviously the big one with Brian Thomas. So I think where our offense really stepped up today was efficiency. I think we were 33 for 36. 33 for 39. That's a pretty high percentage when you're talking about throwing the ball almost 40 times to have that high of a percentage. I'm not really good at math, but that's pretty good.
Coach, you talk about confidence and you talk about being deliberate. You got the ball to a lot of receivers tonight. How does that play into that confidence level?
Yeah, good. Look, there's so many of those guys that can make plays. To get Lacey some playing time and watch him run after the catch. That's what he does in practice. And to watch Jack obviously was fun to see him get going and feel good about being out there. Jeray Jenkins continues to make play after play. Late in the second half or the second quarter where we needed a couple of big plays, he catches the ball in traffic. So, I can go on and on. I mean, Malik Neighbors, obviously, Brian Thomas, Chris is involved. There's a lot of really good players, and we got the ball around to all of them. Thank you. Appreciate it. Go this way.
You good? You need the water? You good?
No, I'm good.